The our Portland Timbers caught in the news again yesterday.
Oy vey.
Their kit sponsor, DaBella, a local company, their CEO was accused of sexual harassment, unwanted advances, according to several within the company, and the woman involved in the situation. Very interesting.
She sounds like a peach.
Little crazy, little out there, a little wild. And
That's putting it, I think, a little lightly.
Well, Joe, this is a team that's been caught in these crosshairs before by themselves, and now they tied themselves to a company who's caught in the crosshairs. They reacted to the news pretty slowly if you're considering how much money is involved here, and now they've had to pull the jerseys. They don't have DaBella jerseys. They don't have any jerseys available. Maybe they will this morning. Maybe they have at some point, but I saw it last night. They weren't even selling jerseys anymore. They had to pull them off the shelves. And so our Portland Timbers might be a really good team who's run incredibly stupid and just having, this isn't even necessarily their fault, but it's just like the timing of this could not be any worse.
Like the season just started. And also,
well, they went through the Thorns and Timbers stuff that was going on and how you had to sell the team. And I can't imagine a worse start to a season where you're trying to kind of revamp things and go a different direction.
Well, also, this comes from, we're forgetting also when they hired their new head coach, Phil Neville, is that he had to initially apologize for some sexist tweets that resurfaced.
Yeah, tweets like 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So it just kind of keeps like they're stepping in it over and over again. And I understand in their own press release that they put on their social media pages that in their pre-vetting process, nothing came up, and that the public filing for the lawsuit was on February 23rd is when it went out into the public and public record. And they found out about it 4 days later.
On the 27th, yeah.
And basically acted immediately on it. So I will say, I guess that shows growth in a sense where you didn't just like sweep it under the rug and like, well, this is a New Jersey logo, a big sponsor now. Like maybe we just ride this thing out for the season and then deal with it after. Like they acted on it pretty quickly, but you're absolutely right. It's just like, damn, dude, like, what are you guys doing in the head offices here where this kind of keeps happening in a sense where you just keep stepping in it in the wrong and it's always and also this kind of sexual harassment lane too. It's like it just keeps going down this road and you're not doing yourselves any favors here. It's like your judgment is very, and I understand they made some new hires in the executive office as well, but it just seems like their judgment of being able to like read people in situations of whether it be coaches, corporate sponsors, whatever, is just bad. And they don't have a good feel on people.
It's interesting. I thought about this yesterday when I went through the piece. Oregon Live is the one that had broken this news. And our buddy Ryan Clark was on the scene yesterday. They're taking down DaBella stuff.
Ryan Clark, by the way, I knew of him because he did great work in Newburgh for the Newburgh like Gazette or whatever. Like he did a fantastic job with like covering the school board and what they were doing down there. So just to see his climb in the sports journalism game here in town is just like super proud of that guy.
He's a friend of the show.
He does a great job.
What I was going to say was what's wild is everybody wants to bitch and moan about Jody. Jody. Get rid of Jody. The Timbers have out-uglied the Blazers. You cannot like what the Blazers have publicly said versus what they're actually doing. Somehow the Timbers have out-uglied Jody Allen. Mayor Paulson, yikes. That's what's funny is we hear the most about the Blazers. I'll care when they sell the team. I'll care. I'll pay attention. The Timbers have had uglier things happen in the last few years than the team that everybody bitches about. You know how bad you have to be to have that happen?
Well, and people still show up to the games in droves.
People are soccer fans.
I mean, you wonder but also it feels like this Timbers fan base, the Timbers Army, definitely holds the ownership and supposedly holds the ownership and team's feet to the fire a little bit more than the Blazers and NBA team does. And that's where I wonder, it's like, how many of these situations do you get before you start getting some major outcry from the fan base?
You just wish the Blazers had an organization of fans the way that Timbers Army, and I forget what their actual name. I mean, they have an organization. They have an office. They just moved the office buildings, for crying out
They're
loud.
not called the Timbers Army?
No, the actual name of the organization,
Ah.
it's something different because it also includes Thorn supporters and
okay.
everything like that.
it's a
And they do a
multifaceted
bunch of community outreach, and they're very involved in
Is
the
it
community.
the 107
Yes.
Independent Supporters
Yep.
Trust?
They're passionate. They're
Yeah.
they're a great
And you just
fan
wish the
base.
Blazers had somebody like that would hold the feet to the fire for Portland managers.
What would we call that group, you think?
I have no idea.
The Fighting Drexlers? The Fighting Ramseys. Yeah, ugly story. You can read about it at OregonLive.com, just involving non-payment to former execs and sexual harassment. And it's the kit sponsor of the Timbers. We're one game into the year, and there they go. They got to strip the kit sponsor off.
Yeah, we'll
of
see
the
what they're wearing
jersey.
Saturday night here.
Yeah, what do you do? Just go back to the old Portland Timbers on the jersey,
Well,
and that's it?
Well, somebody told me they could. So Dutch Brothers sponsors their warm-up jerseys.
So just kind of throw one to
So
Dutch
maybe
Bros?
they could use those
Okay.
if they have numbers on them. So yeah,
And then
How much does that cost, Swag? What's your rough ballpark estimate? Could Dirt and Sprague, can me and Dirt buy this?
no,
Really?
no. I'm sure
Shame
it's.
on
I'm
you.
sure it's a 2 endorsement deal.
Okay. Well, maybe we have the 2 money. You don't know.
Well, again, if you want to see just A+ Photoshop job, go to 1080 The Fans Twitter page, and you can see Isaac and Suk as the new jersey sponsor. I mean, it's not the sponsor we deserve, but it's the sponsor we need right
Somebody
now.
put Tom Peterson and Glorious 2 on the jersey as well. That was fantastic.
That'd be great.
I enjoyed it. Loaded final.
Outrageous audio.
we got tweeters.
Tweeters are $2.